Hey, everybody. Welcome back to It's Happening Now. I'm Devin, along with Greg, who's not here right now. We've all had a very bad day. It's been a long one. Scott
How's it
and
going?
Chris.
Trying to fix
What's
my
going
chair.
on, everybody?
Today, we have an awesome show for you. But before we get to that, we have to do the usual. Please like, subscribe, and share. It helps us out immensely. If we get more viewers, we can get you more and better content. So we would appreciate that. Thank you very much. And without further ado, we're going to go over the developments regarding the pro-Palestinian protesters ramping up their demonstrations, and our first story, which is Donald Trump visiting New York construction workers this morning. And he was greeted by an ovation that would surprise you. So watch this.
USA! 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 USA!
If that doesn't do something to you, remember that those are union employees.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's scary if you're a
Democrat.
Right.
Yeah. You'd be surprised that's New York City doing it as well,
Right.
But I mean, from what the news feeds you, New York City is a Democrat stronghold, and there was a lot of people standing out there saying USA,
Yeah,
pro-Trump. See,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've seen a lot of videos coming out lately of people in New Jersey and stuff like that, Queens, Manhattan, all saying they're going to vote for Trump. So I think the Democrats are in trouble on this one.
And they are, according to certain reports. The union leader says that he is up 3-1 in his union on who's going to vote for him versus over
Right.
Biden. That's
Greg.
huge.
Oh, guys.
Yeah, that's huge, man. That's big numbers, especially what did you say from a union rep?
From a union rep. That is big, especially in New York. I wonder if it's possible that New York could go Trump in this election, which is really unheard of since probably Reagan, that it goes Republican at all.
Right.
I have no clue, but it usually doesn't go red. I'll tell you, it usually goes
Well,
blue.
it does go red all around New York City and Buffalo.
Right.
Yeah, but,
around the big
you know,
cities.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
the millions of people in New York City just dictate that state.
I think it's easier to make the illusion when you're in a big city where, maybe 30% of people vote. That leaves a lot of extra votes. I'm not saying anything,
man.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying things. You know what I mean?
Saying things. He's not saying anything.
I'm not saying things. I'm just
Read
saying.
between the lines, people.
He just dancing around the bush. That's all. I mean,
Oh,
Big
sorry. I'm trying
I,
to get everything up here that I need up here real quick. Work was a pain in the butt.
I saw a video we cannot show to our we shouldn't show to our viewers of them trying to question a construction worker, and he had a 2-word response about Biden, and it wasn't a nice response. So,
Yep, people are starting to feel it in their wallets. Across this nation, and they're just tired of this bull crap. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's just that. I think the lawlessness of it. I mean, when his Secretary of State, Mayorkas, just allows 8 million people to cross the border,
right?
They're looking at you and say, we don't care about you at all. So, I mean, with the crime, the rapes, the murders, I'm going to give you $8,000, but we're going to tax the crap out of you.
Right.
It's a to your face. You know what I mean? It is. We don't care.
Yeah, 2,000 more were caught in San Diego today. Over 200 of them were Chinese migrants. I mean, why are all these people coming here? I mean,
Wouldn't
across the
you?
world. I mean, I would, I mean, I would try at least. I mean, I don't blame them, but at the same time, it just seems like I call it an invasion. I don't call it what they call it. Like we are being overran. We can't, like, this country can't operate like that. Just, open borders, everybody's welcome. At one point,
Yeah.
I mean, especially with all the money we're giving them, I mean, you got to add that in there too. I mean, at one point there is a breaking point.
There is.
And the people know it. And that's why the common man this election is voting for Trump across the board. It's not even there's not going to be any differences in the common man. The only people that are going to vote for Biden are the people that are rich that want cheap labor. That's what
right. And if you like back to New York and them applauding Trump and giving them that I don't even know the words for it, but for all the support they showed, look how New York has been. I mean, their migrant problem is crazy.
Yeah, it's exploded.
And they're giving them money. Then they have that lady who was kicked out of her own house. I mean, I don't know if that was due to migrants or not, but I mean, the New York City itself is just lawlessness everywhere.
Well,
and they're flooded with migrants, who don't understand our laws. So you just tack that on to it, and it just gets even worse.
Well, I mean, you know what happens when they have giant rat problem, right? You release a bunch of migrants in the city, and then that'll take care of that.
It's worse than that. I mean,
No?
if you want,
I guess.
if you want an outcome, a certain type of
Rat meat.
outcome, then you take it to New York courts.
Uh-huh.
You take whatever you got that you have a problem to. If you're an elitist and you want all your bad to go away, you take it to a New York court. Breaking today, Harvey Weinstein's rape conviction was just overturned by New York appellate court.
I thought that happened in California.
What?
No, they convicted him in California.
That's what I'm saying.
But
so they just overturned
he
it in New York.
appealed it in New York, and they overturned it. So now he walks.
Oh,
Right.
So,
So,
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Look,
but
you
does
know
that really
what?
surprise anybody? Does that really honestly surprise any of you? I mean, he's one of the elite.
Right there.
Look, it doesn't surprise me, but it's like, how does one state overturn another state's conviction? That, I mean, if it was a federal case, that would make sense, but that would be the federal judicial system, not the states.
Right.
But he was convicted. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have to look that up, man. Did he get convicted?
Yes.
Go ahead, guys. I'm sorry.
However, he was convicted of rape in California.
The sense of our society is officially lost. I
There
think
is
there is no more sense
there's no justice
no,
at all anymore.
No, there is not. I fear for the people that are going to be affected by things like this.
It is.
Okay. Here, I got something for you. Okay, Mr. Weinstein's conviction in California still stands. Even with the conviction overturned, Mr. Weinstein is not a free man. He is still facing a 16-year sentence in California, where a jury convicted him in 2022 of raping a woman in a Beverly Hills hotel. He was to serve that term after his New York sentence. So I think that one was dropped, basically, but he's still got to go do that 16 years. But that's still ridiculous.
Is it? Does he?
It says Harvey Weinstein's rape conviction overturned. A New York DA will attempt to retry. So they're going to try to do a retrial.
But what does that tell you about our justice system?
I mean, that kind of clears it up for me. I mean, he was facing charges in separate states, so he's convicted in California. He's got to do that 16 years.
Why do you think?
What if he just never goes to California?
No,
he's still got to do 16 years.
He'll just appeal it in California.
But what I'm saying is, why do you think all these Trump cases are in California? Or I mean, New York City?
Because they're all Democrats.
Same as DC.
Right. I get the New York thing because that makes sense. I'm surprised he even got found guilty in California, but he's still got to go do that 16 plus. You know what I mean? Or the 16 plus. He got to do the 16 years.
I'm kind of with Greg on this one. Does he? Really? I mean, or is he just going to appeal it and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, sure, nothing to see. Go ahead, get
I
out of
mean,
here."
I
You
wouldn't.
can't appeal a case outside of a prison.
I
You have
want-
to actually be in the prison if you've already been convicted.
I want to ask you this. If I was to rape a bunch of women and I go to court in California and they convict me and give me 16 years, pretty sure I'd be sitting in prison. They would
should
be
be,
like,
yes.
just come back when you're ready.
Yeah, just come back
No,
whenever. Yeah,
well,
it's all right.
okay,
Yeah.
so
you understand? Yeah.
there are cases
He's
in
rich
which
and powerful.
there
and
are,
important.
but there are cases in which like you're found guilty, and you've been sentenced, but you turn yourself in at a later date. That happens all the time. That's
I have heard of
actually
that, which I
nothing
think
new.
that is the craziest thing ever. It's like, well, you committed a crime, you're
You're
guilty of it.
convicted.
You know what? Come back on the weekend. We're a little, we'll be ready.
No,
for
they
you then.
they
You know
they
what I mean?
actually
Like,
they actually do that all the time. That's
I
actually
know they do,
not.
and I still think it's
yeah.
the most ridiculous thing ever.
But that's usually,
I mean, as long as they go serve their time, I don't have a problem with it.
that's usually white collar crime. You know what I mean? Oh, you wrote bad checks. You have fraud. You have loose ends. But when you rape people, that's usually not.
That's
We
a violent
understand.
crime.
Look,
Right.
you know what I mean?
it's actually not like there's no law saying like it has to be a certain crime. It could be any crime. You just, they sentence you and then they tell you to come back on January 21st or whatever date. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing a date out there. And you go back and you do your 16 years or your year or whatever it is.
Look, and I mean, I know, but think about how asinine that sounds. Let's say I'm convicted
It's been like
of
that for a
murdering
really
my
long time.
wife. Let's say I'm convicted of murdering my wife, found guilty, and they go, "Oh yeah, you know what? Come back in a month."
Well, there's people that don't get to come back.
We'll do your 10 to life or whatever. You know what I
There's
mean? Or 20
people
to
that
life.
get held, man. Like there are people that don't get to go.
Yeah, most people don't get to do that, but I mean, they did it to
he's
me.
rich.
They did it to me on a misdemeanor trial. I got
Well,
found guilty. They sentenced me. They told me to come back in 2 months.
But that's
Okay, I went back in 2 months.
And that's
I'm
not
just
really-
explaining. Look, I'm just
held.
explaining it
That's-
happens.
look,
And
if
that was
you're
on
looking-
and I mean that wasn't on assault. That was on an assault charge. You know what I mean? So
I get misdemeanors, things like that. Okay, you have to serve 6 months. Maybe you got to serve a year.
right.
He gets found of raping multiple women.
Hey, I'm not defending him. I'm just telling you. How
I
the
know, and
system works.
I understand deferred sentence. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
There's many cases where it's deferred sentence. Like, you have a couple
Yeah.
trials. We're going to defer your jail time until your
Yeah.
other trial's over because it affects this jail time.
Right.
I have never heard of anybody who has raped multiple women, gets 18 years conviction
16.
or 16 years. I'm sorry.
All right.
Go
You're
ahead.
good. You're good.
You come back when you're ready. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty sure they did it for Bill Cosby too. There's a lot of reasons,
No,
medical
they let
reasons,
him
all
go
types.
while the trial was going on. But
Yes.
once he
Right,
was
well, he was
convicted,
out.
He went straight to jail.
Did he go as soon as he was sentenced?
Yeah,
Okay.
as soon as he
I
was
didn't say I was wrong.
Anyway,
I mean, I wasn't.
guys, we
I'm
need
just-
to move on to our
That's the
next
way it works.
topic
You know,
here.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're really
It's
looking
not
for
a good thing, but
if you're
Go ahead,
really
Devin.
looking for people that get away with doing things that are illegal, all you have to look no further than the current epidemic that we have of pro-Palestinian protesters. All right.
uh-oh.
They have been ramping up everything. Apparently, it's gotten super bad on a number of schools. The names of which are escaping me, but here specifically is one school where things are getting terrible in Texas State.
Terrible.
Yeah, the other one's in there's another one in Atlanta.
I'm looking at one right now of Princeton
Emory.
University grad student.
Emory University
Make it
in
full
Georgia.
screen, Devin.
So it's tripled in size, according to this, in the last 2 hours. This was yesterday. University had banned them from setting up on the South Lawn, but they're setting up tents and
that
doing
Austin?
whatever they want.
Is that the Austin?
It
That looks like
says
Austin
Texas State
University.
Troopers. I think it's Austin University. Yes.
Okay. Now I saw a video, and I'm sure you all saw it, where a guy asked them what they're protesting,
Yeah.
and they're like, I don't know. I don't know what
Everyone's
this is
like, I don't
about.
know.
So these
Some
young
of them
kids
don't know.
are out here screaming from the river to the sea. They're advocating the destruction of Israel and the killing of all of its people. And then they don't even know what they're advocating. Well, some of them do. I'm not going to say all of them, but there's a vast majority.
Yeah, let's say
that's
some
like,
of them know.
"Hey, what's
Do
those
you
guys
want me to
over
pull
there?"
up that video?
Yeah, you can pull up the video.
I'll find it here. Keep going.
It's absurd. These colleges have stopped being higher education, and they've become terrorist endowment centers,
Yep.
where they teach kids to hate the country, that we're bad, Israel's bad, everybody's bad, except for the states that America says is good, like Ukraine
Right.
and China. And,
no.
you know
Stop,
what I mean?
stop talking now. You're making me yell.
But it's true.
Well, the one that
I
happened-
get it, but
The one that happened today was in Emory University in Georgia.
Will you bring
There
his
was
up,
one that
Greg?
happened one today. What?
Will you bring that up, Greg? Add it to the stage
What?
on the bottom there.
I got it.
And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU is doing.
Is there something that NYU is doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're. Do you know what NYU is doing?
About what?
About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine will be free.
I wish I was more educated.
I'm not either.
Oh.
I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia, and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support, so I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous.
So she just wanted to be there to.
I wish I was
Yeah.
more educated, and she's at a university.
Well,
There
she's
you
from
go,
Columbia.
People,
So.
we were talking about this yesterday. College is not what you think
No.
it
It
is.
used to be. Look,
It's sad,
is.
man.
it is gone away from what it used to be. Hold on.
I mean, the indoctrination stations are out now. I mean, they are full force out
Well,
here
I mean,
doing
even when
this.
even when my son was going just a couple years ago, he said every day walking from class to his car or whatever, there'd be several different people on different, corners of the quad or whatever, screaming about something or another, always some liberal thing and about justice and rights and all that. And it would get in your face, and he just had to be like, look, stay away from me. Don't touch me, leave me the hell alone, and just walk by him to go to his car to go home.
No.
I mean, it's not that they're just protesting, but they want to get in your face and they want to just shake you and be like, you have to understand. And it's like, no, I have to punch you now.
Well,
Like,
they're also breaking the law.
right.
And here's the thing. I'm gonna bring this one up too, real quick.
Sure.
Just to. This is from. Is that the one? This one right here.
Right.
Okay. The reason the cop is doing that is because you are on private property. You can protest all you want on public property,
Right.
but you can't do that on private property. You are breaking the law, and they think
Like
they
trespassing.
don't have to listen to anybody. No, I can protest wherever I want. This is America, and you're not. That's
Right.
not right. That's not true at all. You
It is
cannot
America, but learn
protest.
the laws.
Well,
Right.
I'm saying, like, when it comes to the laws, you can't just protest on somebody's private property and in a building that's considered private. Colleges are privately funded,
right.
and government funded. We all know that story.
Right.
But
True.
if they say you can't do this, I mean, if the four of us decided we wanted to go to Wright State University or OSU because we're from Ohio, we go up there.
Right.
We have to get a permit to be on their property
Right.
to do our show or whatever. Say we did prove me wrong or whatever.
Right.
We would
Or
have to
even
get permits for that
interviews with
because it's
people there, right.
yes, because it's
Right.
private property. But we
Right.
could stand in front of that college all we want
Right.
and protest. We aren't protesters. We
Scream
don't do that
anything we
stuff.
want. Say whatever we
But we
want.
could do our show right there on public property, and they can't do a thing to you.
So
It's just the way it works.
this has come up, and I understand, I think, maybe why they do these things now. As a millennial, as a millennial that has been reformed, I no longer act like that.
He's only millennial by age.
Right, not by actions, which
Right.
you can see. The people there believe, or no longer believe, that if you're going to get anything done, you can do it in a way that is not obstructing. They
Yeah, you
believe
can't
that
be
you have
nice.
to obstruct things in order to get things done. That they're going to force their way down your throat, and they're going to force you to accept their belief system. It is the way of the millennial, and it is the way of these new liberals, that this is how this is done. Because otherwise, they won't listen and do what they want you to do.
Well,
I get that, but I don't get why they act like they don't understand why they're
No, they
getting
understand.
pepper sprayed and tased and like, you can't do that. Let him go. And
because
it's like, yeah, you broke the law, bro.
They are being told, okay, all of this nonsense in their head. It is a system set up by the government to create indentured servants. All right. So between 1979 and 1980, all right, and 1989 and 1990, the total cost of attendance, fees, tuition, room and board saw an increase of 113.8% at public four-year schools, from $2,327 to $4,975. At private four-year schools, tuition grew 160.3%, from $3,225 to $8,396 in a 10-year span. Now, if I go beyond that and I go from 2000 to 2021, average tuition fees jumped by 65% from $8,661 to $14,307. In just the 11 years between 2010 and 2022, tuition and fees rose by 17%. From, you know what I mean? So just in those few years, the government promises you these loads. They send you to school where there's no job at the other end. They have you trapped in the money scheme. You now owe loans that Congress passed a law that you can't file bankruptcy on. So even if you go file bankruptcy, give up everything you own, you still owe those student loans.
Oh, you'll never get away with that.
No.
Yeah.
So
I know
owe
that
us
from
money.
experience.
they take that. Now you're indebted to the government, and the government can come after you, and they'll call you, they'll garnish your wages. Now you have a job that you can't remotely pay that back.
Right.
You owe 30, 40, 60, $100,000 for a degree that
Might as
teaches
well
you
wipe your
nothing.
butt with it.
Right.
Then the
That's worthless.
colleges teach you these
Well said, another
radical
word.
views. Radical views. They teach you how not to be a good worker. They teach you how to oppose everything that's structured in America. So now as all this stuff's going out, all these big companies like, we're not hiring these people. These people are insane. So now you don't even have a job. You're tied to the government with money you can't get out of. And then Biden comes, unconstitutionally, I'm going to relieve student loans. He does it for federal employees and the rich. He doesn't
He
do it
did
for
that. The
poor.
Supreme Court denied it and said it was against the Constitution, and then
Yeah.
he did it again and again and again.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can they do that? That's not right.
They don't. They break.
But I don't
laws.
but I don't feel sorry for these college students when it comes to that, because it's like, hey, you should have read that paper, man. You don't go into a binding contract without reading the contract. Did you buy your house and not read what it
did
says?
they tell you in school your whole life? You have to go to college. If
Well,
you want a
I see.
job,
I
You
went
can't
to
be
you have to go to
any,
college.
you can't be
You
worth
have to go to
anything
college.
if
You have
don't
to go to college.
Right.
You can't be
Well,
anything. if
we
you don't
all
go to
heard that.
college.
They didn't shove that down my face. I mean, I don't remember them really
No.
pushing that too
Oh,
hard.
Devin?
it does.
What they tell
I
you
mean,
in school?
you guys went to different
can never
schools.
Oh, they told me
Unless
so
you
many
go to
things.
college,
They
right.
told me so things in college.
No,
they told-
no, not college. In high school, that you have to go to college.
Oh,
Every
yeah.
day it was
Oh,
rammed
every
down your
day.
throat.
Every
You have
day.
to go to college. You
Every
have
day.
to go to college.
Mhm.
You'll never be anything if you don't go to college.
Yes.
Yeah.
They said-
Every day.
Yeah, it was every day. And then I remember at that time
I went
too,
to an
they were-
alternative high school.
Right.
I
remember
graduated
at
when I was
that
in
time,
prison.
too, it
They
was-
never thought you were going to do anything to begin with. So.
They said, you don't go to college. You're in
let's
prison
see.
already. What
You're
are you
one of the
doing?
lucky ones. That's another federal institution that once they get you in that revolving door, they don't want to let you go.
Yeah.
And everybody
No.
tells you that you can't go.
I got lucky enough. I didn't go to the federal. I went to state
No,
prison.
no, I mean state, even state. How many people there
I'm
said,
just joking.
how many people at that state prison said you'll never be able to do anything? You'll
never
always
Oh
be
yeah.
there.
See, now that's the thing with prison. It is a revolving door. They get so much money for each prisoner,
Yep.
each inmate that's in there for
Yep.
for every year, right? They don't tell you, like on my first number, they could have told me like, hey, you can get your record expunged. There's options. They don't tell you any of that. They just tell you you're screwed. You know what I mean? Oh no, you're in the system. You're screwed. They don't let you know. And a lot of people, I don't think a lot of people would be reoffenders. Like I would. I offended again and again. I got 3 prison numbers.
Yeah.
So
And
it's I lived a different life back then. You know what I mean? And knowledge is key. You know what I mean? That's where a lot of people. I love doing this with you guys, but one of the biggest things I always wanted to do was start a YouTube channel and actually try to help felons. I was gonna call it Felons Helping Felons. I've told you guys about this.
yeah,
Right.
People really do need that knowledge. Like, hey, if you screwed up once, man, you can get out. You can get out. You can expunge your record after so long. There's options. You can go out here and get a good job. Like they told me the best I could do is flip burgers at Burger King. You know what I mean? And that's
right.
crazy because Burger King don't even flip burgers. They got a broiler.
but you found your way out, and that's rare. You didn't
Yeah.
listen to the propaganda that they told you, and you said there's got to be a better way.
Well,
from-
eventually, but at first, dude, I just kept on running.
Well,
Every time I hit the streets, I was back out there.
You were raised in the inner city around crime. That's all
Yeah.
you knew. There was no opportunity for you. There was no
You were young
jobs
and
down the
dumb,
road
too.
willing to give people a job. And if
Nah.
you did get something, somebody would steal it from you.
Yeah,
So
and they didn't
people-
even see the thing is they don't even tell you the opportunities you have out here, even as a convicted
No.
felon. You know what I mean? Like they don't tell you, hey, you can actually make a really good living doing all these different things. They just tell you the best you're going to be is again,
Yeah.
you're going to be working fast food or
You know
some
why they
low
do
skill
that?
job.
They want
To
to
keep
keep you
that
in the
revolving
system.
door
You're
going.
part
Yeah,
of that
keep you back
economy.
in, right.
You're part of
They
that
want you
economy.
back in there.
Yep. They want you there. So the inner city, they keep it gun riddled. And this is mainly
Yeah.
Democrats. They keep it gun riddled. They keep it crime infested because they don't want anybody in that inner city to get out.
Yeah.
They
That's
need
true.
that. They need that
don't they
welfare.
have-
They need that vote.
Don't they have the strictest gun laws in the United States?
Yeah.
These areas?
And those are the
Yes,
most violent
most
of,
of
gun,
them,
of,
yeah.
of gun crimes.
You know what
Right.
they don't want?
Yep.
They don't want the legal guy who goes to work every day shooting back at the criminals.
Yeah.
Right.
They die, then and if there's legal people walking around with guns and
That's-
somebody comes and mugs them and shoots them, mugging stop.
That
Well,
would
it's also
require
it-
that-
it-
that would
it's
require
also-
them to have workplaces. which
it
they
would
don't
also be a deterrent for people who were thinking about doing that when they
Right.
just seen their buddy got shot last night
That's
because
what
he
I'm
tried
saying.
something stupid. So that
Right.
it would even
Well,
stop the criminals from doing those things.
Right.
And-
I've said that. I've said that before. You want to cure gun violence? Give everybody a gun, always, all the time.
Oh yeah.
An
Yeah.
If
armed
everybody's got a
society,
gun, you run the risk of getting shot. Then
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, maybe I shouldn't do that.
an
you
armed
know?
society is
It's
a
a polite society.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it really is.
So look at Los Angeles. You have a Soros-funded DA there. I can't remember his name. It's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it's if somebody could look that up for me. He
Where?
decided to no bail. Look up Los Angeles
I got you.
district attorney. Yep. Now he ended the bail, correct? He stopped the bail, let
Yeah.
criminals out.
Right.
And what's happening? All the businesses are shutting up and leaving California.
I
Like-
can't even say that. It's George Gascon.
Gaston.
Gaston.
Yeah.
Gaston.
So he's letting all these criminals on the street. Oh, yeah. You beat up somebody, you rape somebody, no bail, go back out on the street, do it again. So CVS, I mean, everybody's seen on the news where they're running in there, breaking in, stealing $1,000, $2,000 and running out. Businesses are like, we can't operate here. So they close. I know we're
Then
out
the
of
people
time.
got mad when
Yeah, they
shut
closed
them
the shop. So now all the poor people that can't move,
Right.
We're stuck in there.
Right.
And now the government has full control of you. All the rich people leave. All the people that can, they're like,
Can't
I'm out of
leave.
here. This is nuts. It's the
Yeah.
destruction of America. And with that, we've got to close up shop.
That's right.
Devin.
Again, thank you very much for coming and watching us today. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. And with that, thank you very much. Have a great day, and God bless America.
God bless.
And we're out.
See you
Have a good
tomorrow
one.
on Fun Friday.
I bid you adieu and roll that beautiful footage.